Good morning, dear students. The next topic after the food problem and food resources is change agriculture and overgrazing effect on the food problem of the world. So, overgrazing and change in the agricultural process. These are two aspects. Overgrazing is a problem, but if we say change in agriculture or the modern agricultural practices, including the technology and better methods for farming, these have improved the total crop yield in the world. First is jhum cultivation. In northeast India, Meghalaya, non-mechanized farming system called jhum cultivation has been practiced since long. They cut a clearing in a forest during the dry months. Trees are felled, allowed to dry, and then burned. The fire kills weeds, seeds, and insects and provide the mineral-rich ash, which is helpful in agricultural productivity. With the onset of rains, the farmer plant a crop, the grain is harvested, and the rest of the plant is burnt. When this system is practiced for 2 or 3 years, the soil fertility progressively decreases as there is less of ash every year as compared to the amount in the first year when the trees were burnt. When it is no longer profitable to cultivate that part, the farmer moves to another forest and repeat the same cycle, and this lead to significant amount of deforestation. Overgrazing effect of overgrazing are well known as soil loss. तो जो हमारे लाइफ स्टॉक्स हैं, जो भी एनिमल्स हैं, वो ओवरग्रेजिंग करते हैं तो उससे क्या होता है कि सॉइल का इरोजन होता है, उस पर जो न्यूट्रिशंस उसमें है, जो फर्टिलिटी है सॉइल की, वो डिक्रीज होती है. Because of the increasing number of livestock and migrating grazers have contributed to degradation of forest and the consequent devastation. The most accessible forest areas are heavily grazed. For instance, there are nearly 1,200,000 sheep and goats in alpine areas of UP. Besides, nearly 25,000 migrant graziers visit the area. There are also about 5 to 7,000 buffaloes owned by the Gujars. It is estimated that in absence of suitable checks, growing forestry stock will decrease from 13.79 metric cube per head in 1981 in 2001, and reduction in annual availability of grass will be from 3.6 per cattle unit in 1981 to 0.9 per cattle per unit in 2001. Existing forests may thus not be able to meet out wood and fodder requirement of mankind and livestock respectively. It is estimated that in absence of suitable checks, growing forestry stock will decrease from 13.79 metric cube per head in 1981 in 2000, and reduction in the annual of the 3.6 per cattle. The menace or the annual loss of soil nutrients in this way is of the order of 5.37 million tons of NPK valued at about rupees 700 crore. Besides the expenses of soil removal, which gets silted in irrigation tanks, reservoirs, sea riverbeds, are also quite high. Overgrazing is a major hazard afflicting pastures, forests, and mountains. There are huge semi-arid zones in India used for grazing, but grazing destroys the little covers and enhance wind and erosion. There are some suggestions for avoiding overgrazing problem. There must be development crops for arid regions. For example, there are some plants which yield hydrocarbons, substitute for oil, and grow well in arid conditions. These include jojoba, a plant that yields a sap like diesel oil and milkweed. Jitpur Arid Zone Area Institute is already experimenting with such varieties. In overgrazed areas, there should be grown fodder trees like kubabul, which in irrigated condition gives enough green fodder per acre to maintain 6 cows. Most villages should be asked to grow such plants instead of grass or panchayati pasture. Goats and sheep should be kept in enclosure and fed with tree fodder, through which many more calories will be converted into meat and wool. These animals waste huge quantities of calories roaming on pasture. Cubable can supply the high quality feed. Now let us talk about the modern agriculture. Because of the rapidly increasing population, new mouths to be feeded are being increased, because of which people have to be provided with sufficient food. For that, various techniques and methods have been applied in the field of agriculture. First is the agriculture census. The Department of Agriculture and Cooperation has been conducting agriculture census in each of the plan periods since 1970-71. Census in 1970-71, 80-81 were organized as part of the World Agriculture Census programs sponsored by Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations. They were conducted on a complete enumeration basis in the most states and union territories. The other two censuses with agriculture years 1976-77, 85-86 as reference periods were conducted on a census cum sample basis to reduce burden in collection and processing of primary, as also to keep cost low. The agriculture census seeks to collect information on distribution of holding and area operated, along with its related characteristics such as tenancy and terms of leasing, land use and cropping pattern, irrigation and sources of irrigation, etc. by different six classes. Data is utilized for formulation of poverty alleviation program in general and uplift of small and marginal farmers in the particular. Skewness in distribution of land holding and pattern of tenancy are also extremely used for the Department of Rural Development for certain programs. Second is agricultural research and education. The Department of Agricultural Research and Education comes under the Ministry of Agriculture itself, and it raised more darker, which was set up in 1973. So its main function is to be responsible for coordinating any research and educational activities in agricultural, animal husbandry and fisheries, means the agriculture and the allied services. Besides, it helps to bring about interdepartmental and interinstitutional with the national and international agencies, engages in the same and allied fields. It provides government support service and linkage to the ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. ICAR is a registered society and is an apex body responsible for promotion, conduction and coordinating with the research education and primary extension education in the field of agriculture and animal science, fisheries and the allied sectors in the country. The council is directly involved in undertaking research through its 46 central institutes, including the 4 national bureaus, 20 national research centers and 9 project directorates of fundamental and applied aspects of individual crops, commodities and disciplines, which have direct relevance to the agriculture, animal husbandry, fisheries, and allied sectors. Then the crop science. Research advances in crop sciences include crop protection techniques have given the national confidence to produce food grains to meet not only the present requirement but to achieve the target of 2250 and 2500 lakh tons to food grains set for ensuing year. During the year, the emphasis was given on attaining the higher crop productivity and sustainability of the crops, for which efforts were made to provide adequate infrastructure and redeployment of the scientific strength to provide major thrust to the priority areas. Then improvement in agriculture. First is the horticulture. Horticulture is related to the crop plantation and the agriculture or farming of the fruits. Production level in fruits was of 365 lakh tons has been reached largely due to the superior vegetability prohibited planting material, and it includes the crops of and the productivity of mango, grapes, papaya, pomegranate, banana, bear, orange, lime, and quinoa. Then agricultural availability of edible oils include vanaspati has increased significantly. The country has been able to sustain and improve the availability of basis consumption articles and has thus raised the standard of living. Then the third is land utilization. Land utilization statistics are available for 92.7% of total geographical area of 3287.3 lakh hectares. According to land use statistical available for the state areas for the forest has increased from 404.8 lakh to in 1950-51 to 667.3 lakh hectare during the same period. Then the quality control. Seeds India, or we can say that about the seeds. It's about the seeds. India has transformed itself from a sustainable subsistence economy and food importing country to one which is self-sufficient in food grains, recognizing seed as the primary input for increasing agricultural production. The central government established the National Seed Corporation in 1963 and the State Farm Corporation in 1969 to encourage the production and distribution of certified seeds of various crops. 13 state seed corporation have also been established to supply improved seeds to the farmers. And the quality control, the Seed Act was passed by the Parliament in 1966 to ensure that the farmer get good quality seeds. There is a central seed testing laboratory in 90 state seed testing laboratory functioning in various state union territories. There are also 19 seed certification agencies. New variety of seeds are notified by Central Seed Committee. About 1775 new varieties have been notified so far. This has been possible due to the collective effort of research scientists, seed technologists, progressive farmers and administrators involved in the agricultural development. Then the breeders. Seed production of breeder seeds is organized by ICAR through the concerned breeders and scientists on receipt of indents from the state government. The National Seed Corporation and State Farmer Corporation of India also produce breeder seeds. Then the high yieldings variety program to were made. Okay, and the main objective of program is to increase the food grain production during the 7th 5-year plan, and its objective are like achieving the self-sufficiency in food grain. We don't have to import, so that imparting the great stability of food grain production, acceleration of growth rate in the production of pulses and coarse grains, protection of interest both of farmers and consumer through the price support and better distribution measures, dry land rain fed. Farming about 990 lakhs hectare in the country is rain fed, accounting for 70% of the net sown area of 1410.6 lakh hectare. Crops grown and Cropping practices followed in these areas entirely depends upon the rainfall, which is often erratic and unpredictable. Bulk of the crops like rice, jar, bajra, millets, pulses, oil seeds, cotton are grown in this area under the rain-fed conditions. Then Himalayan watershed management project in Uttar Pradesh. As we know that the hilly part of uh, the Uttarakhand, on the whole Uttarakhand used to come in Uttar Pradesh earlier. So here the Uttar Pradesh name is written. You can also refer it as Uttarakhand. This Himalayan watershed management project was launched in 1983 with the assistance of World Bank. The main objective of this project is to minimize the further deterioration of Himalayan ecosystem caused by the depletion of forest covers, overgrazing, bad land use and careless road construction. So that's it about today's lecture, students. Thank you very much for